Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're back, and today we're tackling something we see all the time, especially since we're part of the DreamClass team. It's that mixed bag cohort problem in adult education.
Oh, you know the one. You've got a class of 30 people. One person has a PhD, another hasn't been in a classroom since like 1990.
And a few are only there because their boss told them to be. And you're supposed to teach them all the same thing at the same pace. It's a recipe for disaster.
It really is.
Yeah.
The advanced learners get bored, and the ones who are struggling just get left behind. Which is exactly why we're going to talk about AI-driven adaptive learning today.
Okay, but I have to stop you there. As soon as you say AI, I think a lot of people just, their eyes glaze over. It's such a buzzword.
And that's fair skepticism. I get it. But we're not talking about marketing fluff here.
Yeah.
This is a real fundamental shift. Think of it like this. A traditional course is a train schedule. Everyone leaves and arrives at the same time.
Right, on the same track.
Exactly. Adaptive learning is more like a GPS.
Yeah.
It's rerouting every single car individually based on live traffic.
Okay, I like that analogy. Let's peel that back a bit because a lot of people I talk to confuse adaptive with self-paced.
Yeah, that's a common one.
Yeah.
And they're very different.
So what's the core distinction?
Well, self-paced just means you decide when to hit the next button. You're still walking down the same exact path as everyone else, just maybe a bit faster or slower.
Okay.
Adaptive is different. The system itself is actually watching you.
Watching me how?
It's watching your data exhaust, basically. Let's say you're in a coding course, you fly through the first module, but then you get to, loops, and you start to hesitate.
You pause the video, you get a question wrong.
Precisely. The adaptive system sees that. It sees the struggle, and it doesn't just say, try again. It reroutes you. It might serve you a quick remedial video, or maybe a different type of practice problem.
While the person sitting next to me who got it right away just skips that part entirely.
Exactly. It's personalizing the curriculum in real time, which, ties directly into the main principles of adult learning.
Right, because adults are busy. They need to know their time isn't being wasted. If something isn't relevant, they check out.
And it feels disrespectful, doesn't it?
Yeah.
To make a professional sit through a 2-hour lecture on something they've mastered over 10 years. Adaptive learning helps fix that retention problem.
Okay, so pedagogically it makes perfect sense, but I'm thinking about the administrator, the school manager. Operationally, this sounds like a potential nightmare. If everyone is on a different path, how do you manage that?
That's the million-dollar question. And you're right, it has to be managed properly. We see 3 big operational wins. First, you get way more accurate learner placement, no more guessing.
Second,
You get early warnings. The system can flag a dropout risk weeks before a teacher might notice, just based on their engagement data.
because it sees they've stopped logging in or they're failing the same quiz over and over.
Right. And third, you get real visibility into readiness. You know exactly who's prepared for a certification exam and who needs more time.
But, and this sounds like a big but, this only works if your different systems can actually talk to each other.
Right. That's the key. This isn't just about the learning platform. You can't have this super modern adaptive tool running in one corner and then have admissions and scheduling living in some dusty old spreadsheet.
So your administrative backend has to be just as agile as the learning path. That's where you need a robust system, something like DreamClass, to handle all that student management, the invoicing, all the admin chaos.
You got it. Otherwise, you're just building a very expensive, very fancy silo.
So for a school founder listening to this who's interested but maybe a little terrified of a huge overhaul, what's the first step?
You start small, do a pilot. Don't try to transform the entire institution overnight. Pick one program, maybe the one with the highest dropout rate.
And run it for how long?
Usually 6 to 10 weeks is the sweet spot. But here's the crucial part. Before you even start, you have to define your mastery signals.
Mastery signals. What do you mean by that?
It just means you have to decide what getting it actually looks like. Is it scoring 90% on a quiz? Is it completing a task in under 5 minutes? You have to tell the system what success is so it knows when to let a learner move forward.
That makes sense. Test it on a small scale, measure the results, and then decide if it's worth expanding.
And remember, and this is my one big takeaway for everyone, the technology should support your pedagogy. It should never, ever drive it.
That is such an important distinction.
It is. The real risk isn't using AI. The risk is buying a platform that says it's adaptive, but it's really just a glorified quiz randomizer.
Yeah.
You've got to look under the hood. Does it actually change the path? Or does it just shuffle the questions?
A great thought to end on. Just because the software is smart doesn't mean it's smart teaching. You still need the strategy.
And the operational backbone to make it all work.
Well, that's all the time we have for this deep dive. We hope we've helped you see past the buzzwords and into the real strategy here. Thanks so much for tuning in.